Welcome back to the grind. In this video, we're going to go through some footage of the Crystal Howitzer Tower and flying against it. Now, unfortunately, the base I'm flying against is a bit high for my tier with more like higher than level 80 towers, but the Crystal Howitzer Tower itself is level 60, so more fitting for Obsidian to Harbinger tier. So for the most part, I'm using Morak because I'm usually able to hit a couple tiers up with Morak, so slightly over level 80 towers defended is not really a problem. Recently I did put my best gear, this mythic gear, onto my Morak, so I'm enjoying that a little bit. So here's the base. You can see level 82 towers, and then the extras are level 70 and the howitzer is 60. Now, he moved earlier to the Long Island, I think, because of the Crystal Howitzer Tower. Now, this is to show the firing speed of the super shot versus the regular shot. So we're going to compare them side by side, again a little bit slower. So you can see the activation time is pretty much the same, but the speed of the super shot is much faster. So it's a little bit harder to dodge, but in certain situations, it's actually easier. Now, for Morak specifically, the speed of the Crystal Howitzer Tower in the front is actually fast enough that the rapid cooling allows you to dodge it during the rapid cooling spell, because that does evade the Crystal Howitzer super shot or regular shot. So here you can see the super shot flies so fast that the rapid cooling evades it. Now, if this was a different dragon, it potentially could cause more troubles if you were not able to take out the blue mage fast enough to dodge it, because it is quite a quick shot. Now you can see basically this was undefended, so no trouble going through this base. Now we'll look at it in the back island with no defender as well. And you can see that it actually takes a little while for the shot to activate, and it flies pretty slowly. So you actually have a fair amount of time to get your cloak available. And then I was able to clear this island without taking any damage at all, actually. So now let's go with defenders and applying the super shots. And I'm going to freeze it a couple times so we can see what is happening here. So I take out the ice flak first and then the earth flak, because those are the most important. And then here I'm a little bit too slow with the cloak, so I got hit by the dark flak, but I was able to dodge the regular howitzer shot. And then here it fires the super shot, and I was still in rapid cooling, so I didn't take any damage from it. But you can see how fast that tower fires after it already has fired. So if you have a blue cloak, when you come out of it, you are going to be exposed. The other thing to consider is that the super shot doesn't do as much damage as the regular shot. And if there is a shield, it breaks the shield but does no damage. I took damage after because I was exposed to the dark flak and then I died. So it does add some challenge to the base. Now this is a similar clip, but I was able to take out the blue mage in time to cloak before the dark flak hit me, even though the howitzer broke my shield. But you can see how fast it fires after coming out of cloak, and that regular ammo shot did so much damage it just one-shot me. Now this run is going to be triple defended, and it's going to highlight a couple things. So first, I took out the blue mage this time to allow me to hover earlier, but that leaves me exposed to the ice flak because I do want to take out the earth flak first, because otherwise I will be very limited in which towers I can attack. Now the thing to keep in mind is the howitzer super shot does not do as much damage, but it flies faster. So I take out the blue mage first, then the earth flak, and then I use magic barrier, which is disabled by the ice flak, and then I'm hit exposed by the super shot, which does not do as much damage. Then I'm able to hover, destroy the howitzer tower and rapid cooling again, and then destroy the other towers by cycling the spells as I normally would. So in that turn of events, I was able to get through the base. Now, if it was a regular shot from the howitzer tower, it would have killed me, but I would have had more time because it's a slower shot, so I might have been able to dodge it. And so that's the things to consider. It's very unclear, very random. It does add another element, and it's hard to plan it and time it all out with this new tower. And remember, this is just one dragon. Other dragons may have different challenges and different timing to consider. So now I'm trying to do my spell rotation quicker, and I take out the ice flak on the turn, then the earth flak, then I use magic barrier, and then I take out the blue mage, but I don't finish before the howitzer shot hits me. So I take damage, but not that much. And then I can cloak before taking other damage, and then I'm able to take out the howitzer before it fires again, and then finish clearing up the island. Now the timing is so close that if this was a regular shot, I would have had a lot more time to dodge it before it hit me. So while the regular shot would have killed me, I would have been able to dodge it with this hover spell. So that wouldn't have really made a big difference in me finishing off this island. So next I wanted to test out a different spell rotation, which allowed me to cloak earlier and save my rapid cooling a little bit longer, which I don't typically like to do. But the earlier you fire the first shot at the ice flak and the longer you delay using magic barrier, it gives you more time to use hover. As you can see, mine was a little slow, but then I was able to hit the howitzer before taking a shot and then use rapid cooling to continue to take out more towers and continue cycling the spells as usual. But this only works because the blue mage isn't shielded by the earth flak. And in this example, you can see I accidentally hit the blue mage, which left me exposed to the ice flak super shot. But because it happened so early on the island, I was still able to get my spells up and hover and avoid the first howitzer shot. And then the second howitzer shot was not a super shot, so I was able to block it with the magic barrier. But if it was a super shot, then I probably would not have survived. So now with the same setup, I'm going to actually hit the ice flak first and use the magic barrier as the first spell in my rotation. Because the earth flak is on the other side, I can take the blue mage out, but I was a little delayed in activating that. But because I was distanced enough and able to hit the howitzer during the cloak, it didn't get an extra shot off and I managed to survive this island just barely. So now I asked him to move the howitzer tower up to the front of island 4. This allows it to activate a lot sooner, and you're pretty much dealing with that tower from the very beginning along with the other 5 towers on the front island. So I think this is where I would put it if it was my situation. So with my regular spell rotation, the howitzer super shot breaks my shield before I can take out the blue mage, leaving me exposed, and I take super shots and die pretty quickly. I had to move the blue mage to the front right side so that it was protected by the earth flak, which means I couldn't take out the ice flak and blue mage first, leaving the earth flak, because then I might not be able to take out the blue mage after that. I also considered taking out the blue mage and ice flak first and then using hover, but then when I come out of hover, the earth flak would most likely shield the howitzer tower, and if I left the ice flak there, it would shield the ice flak tower, and I would have no way to avoid the incoming damage and spell disables and shield breaks. So now this next clip is an undefended clip with the howitzer in that front of island 4, and you can see it still fires really early, but if it's not the super shot, you don't have to worry about it. But then it does fire again pretty quick, and that time it was a super shot, so I had to be careful to dodge that, otherwise I would have been in trouble. And I still did manage to clear the island, though. It obviously is a lot easier without a defender to worry about. Now this is a clip where the blue mage wasn't present on the front island, and this just highlights that with one less critical tower present on the front there, it makes it a world easier to take out this island, because now I can focus on taking out that howitzer tower without limiting my ability to cloak, because the blue mage isn't there. And then I can continue with my regular spell rotation without much concern at all and manage to clear the entire island with really not taking much damage, but took a couple hits at the end there. So this last clip, just to show you a different dragon, this is the only other dragon I was able to fly against this base, and with the white cloak, as long as you don't let the cloak expire, you can cloak the howitzer shot pretty easily if you practice it and you're comfortable using the cloak. So other dragons like Gnarlith with a white cloak should be able to handle the howitzer tower relatively easily as well. But notice how fast it fires once you start attacking it. It fires a little faster than flak, so you got to be aware of that and be careful as you're attacking this tower while it's disabled. And then beyond that, other dragons with blue cloaks, Kulisid and Gnarlith of mine are not strong enough to test, so I was not able to do that against this base. But I believe that Kulisid, if you manage the blue mages correctly, you should be able to avoid the howitzer shot, because that cloak has such a short cooldown and no rage cost. Now, an important thing to remember is this is just one person's experience. This is my early limited experience with flying against this tower with a limited number of dragons, really just Morak. I think this tower is going to add some complexity for a lot of players, especially those who rely on warriors and sorcerers to defeat bases. I heard that the super shot does not break Gig's shield. I have not seen it myself, so I don't know for sure. I would be pretty disappointed if that is actually true, because I was really hoping that this tower would help to take down Gig, because he steamrolls bases with a lot of ease, and it's kind of sad to watch. But the ability for this tower to break shields along with the ice flak will definitely make the base a little more complicated. It's a must focus tower, and an additional one on the base can make that really challenging. Also, without the super shot, that attack is so high, so it does a lot of damage, and honestly, I probably would prefer to just rely on ice flaks to disable shields and then let this tower fire without a super shot, hoping that it lands when the ice flak has them disabled, and it would pretty much drop most dragons of relative tier. So let me know what you think of this tower so far. Let me know your experience with it. And hopefully as time goes on, we'll get more information and more experience. And hopefully I'll have some more videos to share in the near future. But this is definitely going to add an added element of complexity, and it'll make my how to fly dragon tutorials a little bit more interesting. So we'll see you in the next video.